Hello, hello. Kraig Smyth here, MyBizGuide, and another edition of Disengage from Linear Mindset. Welcome to the show. Today's topic is a familiar topic. It's the fight. I mean, really, isn't that what everything is, though? We could say fight. We could say embracing of the challenge. But let's not mince words too much right now. I'll get into that later. Oh, let's see. Lots going on. Lots going on in the world today. Lots of physical confrontation. Did I say that right? Physical confrontation? Yes. So, one of the main things I want to do, point out, are some of the intrinsic traps there and what we're fighting. Talking to my fellow warriors, to the people fighting for a sustainable planet, a sustainable planet comes first. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about alignment. It's all about alignment. And we're fighting other people. We're fighting the same species that we are. So what's the difference? They want to rule by force, and we acknowledge the path of nurturing and personal growth. On this continent that the government took over and now calls the United States, there's a whole host of laws, a whole host of written laws that they say is supposed to ensure freedom. But the mere idea of governing population masses is exactly the opposite of freedom. So many lessons. One of them is that we need to understand these things when we're fighting stupidity, because that's what it is. It's because these people failed to realize how to be with nature, how to grow themselves, how to identify with themselves and identify with nature. Same thing. No difference there. There should be no disconnect there. Feel free to check yourselves along the way. So the default from the oppressor is physical force, is managing with physical force, which is not, managing via physical force is not nurturing growth, is not nurturing healthy human populations. End of story. But they're still trying to push that through. Well, the trick is that while we're resisting physical force, and while we're resisting with physical force, I'm not saying don't do that. What I'm saying is that there's a whole lot of other things that we need to understand. One of them is not to get stuck in their narrative of physical force, because this is absolutely a mental, emotional, spiritual battle. So when we get stuck engaging them in physical force, it's really easy to lose track of the three other facets of humanity, which ultimately are way, way larger than the physical thing. So, our species is at an evolution. We need to ramp this up. How is it so easy for us to get stuck in the physical when the mental, emotional, spiritual facets of humanity are so much larger and connected to infinity. Well, maybe that's another discussion. But for now, maybe just take that point, and when there's a physical engagement, understand these things come from that level of understanding the difference between nurturing humans into sustainable growth and talking about actual sustainability, and I mean sustainable mental, emotional, physical, spiritual well-being, and talk about actual well-being, and that you can't force someone into those things. Well, we'll see. That's what we're actually going to try and do. We can force people into these things. We can force people out of our way so we can do these things by holding that energy. And by holding that energy, that's what moves. That's what moves things. Oh, let me turn my phone off here. Or at least try. So, one of the big traps with governmental systems like that is they get us stuck. They get people stuck into this lowest common denominator of communication, which is force. Why is it so easy? Well, it is the lowest common denominator, and it's the lowest form of communication. So I guess technically we're all closer to that than we are evolving into the emotional, mental, spiritual. We've been forceful longer, and now we're moving this way into infinity. We have to keep our focus on that infinity. That's disengaged from linear mindset, by the way. If we keep our focus on infinity, and if we that holds space for change, that energy moves things. When we default to things from colonial construct, i.e. contemporary society, when we default to things like money, a clock, or government, we lost. We're focused on something that was created out of scarcity mindset, which is separate from natural evolution, which is separate from our natural ability to growth, and absolutely disconnects us from our ability to grow and outgrow our challenges. When everyone knows these things, those challenges won't exist. There won't be anonymous government agents in the streets beating people up. When the bulk of society understands growth, understands what actual human growth is and its connection to nature. You have to know these things. You have to understand these things. Because otherwise, if you're just fighting them with their own laws, you're going to lose. You're going to lose it for everyone, is the short version. It is absolutely life and death challenge. You need to take this shit absolutely seriously. You need to take your own mental, physical, emotional, spiritual well-being seriously. That is your internal challenge of life or death. Contemporary society basically got rid of all the external challenges. There's no grizzly bears. Know what I'm saying? There's no physical challenge for life and death on a day-to-day basis, except for a select few that have dangerous jobs. Another concept. Lots there. So where did that energy go? Well, there's so many things that we can't begin to really understand and say for sure, but one could theorize that that energy has gone on to challenging us in emotional, mental, spiritual facets. If you think about it, if you extrapolate a little bit, if you've been watching humanity, you'll see these things. So our own well-being is our challenge of life or death, and understanding our own well-being lets us understand the things that everyone needs to nurture. You cannot force yourself into, you have to want wellness, you have to embrace wellness, all these things. This is actually how people work. When we understand these things in no uncertain terms, then when we face somebody that is defaulting to the lowest common denominator, to that physical force, we can address those things on that level, and our words carry the energy from that information, and our words carry the energy from sustainability for the earth. We need to leverage our energy. That's what's up with all the street fighting and all the voting and all that bullshit. All of that's bullshit. Are we going to have to step in it a little bit to get to where we need to be? Yeah. Yep. Might have to vote, might have to go out and march in the streets, do whatever we can. But understand that the future and the way to address these issues is through our mental, emotional, spiritual facets, because we're raising everybody up. We're raising everybody up. No one, yeah. We could expound on the follies of contemporary government forever, and that is another trap. People just saying, oh, well, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Yeah, get with the program. It's all wrong. Get over that. Because when you get stuck on that, when you start pointing to law, when you start pointing to laws about freedom and constitutions, you're stuck. You just shot yourself in the head. Get out of that. Those laws are not connected to natural laws. The governmental system, the monetary system, the clock, those are not connected to natural laws. Therefore, invalid, and they don't work as shown. So, disengage from linear mindset, disengage from contemporary law. It's shit. It's shown to be shit. We just clearly articulated how it's shit, not connected to nature and story. That's all you really need to know. You can't force freedom. You can't build laws to ensure freedom. That's shit. Shit. Things can grow from shit. There's a lesson in nature. If your head's in nature, everything has a place. Everything has a cycle. Don't label them as bad in yourself. In the deepest part of self, you got to know that their reflection is making us grow. Suck on that for a while. We wouldn't be having these conversations if it wasn't for them. Okay? Don't tell them that. But don't start labeling good and bad. You don't know. I don't know. No one knows. We go with what we got. We go with what we've experienced, with what we've identified as truth to the best of our knowledge in the situation. What we've identified as truth to the best of our knowledge in the situation is that the government's shit. Short version. Feel free to think about it or look up some other stuff about it. But we just went over it. Done. End of story. Don't get stuck in it. Don't get stuck in the fight, in the physical fight. Don't get stuck in the physical altercation. Don't get stuck in the legal altercation. clearly recognize you might have to step in some of that shit, but you can't immerse yourself in it, or you shot yourself in the head, along with all the other beings. It's not just you, it's not just the individual. All these individuals fighting for what's right affects everybody. It affects everybody. That's why, again, it's important to share things like this, to share insights, to nurture each other. Not let things overwhelm us, not let things consume us. So understand, keep replaying the understanding until you get it. Till you get it, till it's not a new concept. Till you don't. Keep acknowledging the truth until you do not default to time, money, or law. Those are constructs made separate, made from minds that were separated from the reality of nature, and they do not work as shown. Human existence, 200,000 years, depending on who you talk to, whatever, let's use that for a placeholder. Human existence in contemporary government. How far do you want to go back? You try and stretch to 6,000 years versus 200,000 years. We have all this under our belts. We have all this growth along with nature. We know nature. Don't let this newness, don't let people hold up this little bit of new, ooh, here's this written law that's really going to help us. Bullshit. Those are from people heavily infected with linear mindset, heavily disconnected from reality, scarcity mindset. Understand where our species has been, how our species has survived for so long. It's not because we were stronger or faster, it's because we were smarter. So we need to now be smart enough to understand ourselves, to understand our species. Take a page out of any natural science biology book. Super, super simple. Everything's on this planet. Everything works with this planet. Everything works with a natural flow and a story. Know these things, know these things, know these things. Hold that energy of those understandings. When you face people with less understanding, you got to know it. You got to know it. They're shoveling bullshit around like they know it. They don't have any idea what true understanding is. It's up to you to show them true understanding. Show it with your words. Show it with your energy. Have your energy flow through those words. So that's my pep talk for everybody trying to fight for change. Much appreciate you being out there on the streets and doing that. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your wellness. Wellness for everything, for the whole planet first, and then everything will flow out from there. Keep the planet as a whole in your sights. Don't get trapped into, oh, well, it's illegal what they're doing. Lame. You just took a step back. You just took a step back. You just agreed with them. You just gave them your power. You just gave them your energy. You just forsake. When you say, oh, well, it's illegal, what they're doing? Nope. You just fucked everybody. Not in a good way. can't default to those things. That's giving them your power. That's forsaking everything that makes sense and going, okay, I'll listen to your stupid law. Okay, money rules the world. Oh, okay, I got to be there by 6. That's forsaking everything around you, everything that people have known for 200,000 years, everything that every other living organism abides by unconditionally. That's forsaking all that because a couple new people with their heads up their ass thought they'd try and write some stuff down and convince you to go along with it. And look, when you do that, that's what you did too. So who's the real dumbass? We got to outwit the nitwits. Everyone's obviously got a long way to grow. But if you're slightly ahead of the curve, guess what? They say, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. Well, we don't do kings and queens and all that bullshit, but you get the point. If you got half an idea of what's going on, guess what? You're up to bat. Make it happen. You need to rise, 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 rise. If you're a half-wit, guess what? You are leading everything because everyone else is like 1/1000th of having a wit. So, again, that's my pep talk. Get on it. Get on it. It is life and death. Absolutely. And here you go. That's all I got for now. Kraig Smyth, MyBizGuide, disengage from linear mindset, fight the good fight, and make some things happen. We need to make things happen, not just talk about it, not just complain about it. We need to make some things happen. Have a good day.